Hi guys, it's Breacher18, breaching board games one game at a time, and today we're going to be looking at the Sibling Trouble Backyard Adventures. This is an adventure, storytelling rich game, and it plays 2 to 4 players, ages 8+, although George is 6 and he managed just fine. Let's get it to the table, take a look at it, see how it plays, and then my final thoughts. This is the Siblings Trouble Backyard Adventure. What you need to do is start off by picking one of your characters, so we'll just take a quick look at those. As you can see here, we've got Adventure, Mischief, Danger and Mayhem, and then we've got the same there but just female versions of the characters. Once you've done that, each player will get a treasure card and then take the token that represents the type of character they've got and the dice for that character, and then you are ready to begin. The most important thing about the Siblings Trouble is the adventure deck, and there are several adventures in the game. We're going to be looking at the hillside caves, but actually in the game you have the abandoned junkyard, mystic waters and ancient forest. We each take it in turns, starting with the person who has recently been on an adventure, and then we turn the first card of the adventure deck over. So we turn over the entrance, and it's the hillside cave. The hillside cave is hidden. Describe how it was discovered and opened to enter. So that player would then describe how they've come across the cave and how they've managed to open the cave to enter it. Then play goes round clockwise and the second card is drawn. So this is a path card. Cliffhanger. Choose one, describe a stumble and take a -1 token, or describe surviving a terrifying mishap to take a +1 star token and draw a treasure. However, if you lose your next encounter, all the siblings go home. So it's pretty much just follow that card's instructions and keep going round in play. So what we would do is we'd describe and take a -1 token, or we can describe surviving a terrifying mishap to take a +1 star token and draw a treasure. So if we do that, so we describe what happens, but we survive it, we take a +1 star token and we draw a treasure card. So we'll do that then. So we take a +1 token here. That goes in our player supply, and we can take a treasure. This is a treasure deck, so we'll take that, and we've got an action figure, and then it'll just describe what the action figure does. So we get a +1 additional star if there is something smaller than it should be in your story. And then we can also get a +1 star if you have added a new path card to the top of the adventure deck. And then you see this in the bottom corner, it's actually got a +1. This can be discarded to increase your score when you come up against an enemy. So we would describe how we overcame that mishap, and then play would go on to the next player. We turn over the next card. Dung pile. Okay, so for this, in the top corner is the search dice, so that's what we'll be rolling. So I'll just quickly read that card. Investigate, roll the search die. If you roll a question mark somewhere in the dung, you found stinky treasure. Draw a treasure card, add +1 to all encounters you face while you have it. So we would roll, it's not a question mark, sorry, it's a T. I couldn't quite see that from there. So we roll that, and we didn't manage to roll what we wanted. We rolled that one. So if you look at your reference card here, it says that we draw a treasure card. So we still get a treasure card, but we won't get the +1 star to all encounters whilst we have that treasure. The idea as you're going round the game is that you're elaborating on the story and the adventure that you're having. Sometimes it's good to refresh the previous player's story, so it just keeps the story flowing and maintaining coherency as you go through. So then obviously it passed, so then we draw another card. Scraggly spider. Okay, so this is the first enemy we've come across. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, there is a number. The idea on your character dice is to match that number or beat it. And there's a good thing that happens if you beat it, or there's a bad thing that happens if you don't manage to beat it. So it says, if the boss is revealed, add a fear counter to it, explain why it's scarier. If defeated, which is us if we're defeated, you're poisoned by the spider. Take a -1 star token, but don't go home. What we would do then is we'd place that back down. Then we would roll our character card. So we'll say we're Mayhem, for the purpose of this video. And we roll that and it's 3. So we didn't get the total that we needed, which is 5. But what we can do is we can discard the treasures. So we can discard this and get a +1 to it. And this treasure that we started off, we could discard this and get a +1 as well. So that'd bring us up to 5. So I think we can do that. Or we could ask one other player to help us, and they can use their tokens or they can use their treasures. And also they can use a dice roll as well. So, but I think what I'll do is I'll discard the action figure and my +1 token. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll do that. If we also describe something in the story smaller than it should be, we can actually use this as another +1. We can manage to fit that into the story. We can just discard that and that'd give us a +2. But for now, we'll just discard those there. Okay, so we have successfully defeated the scraggly spider. So we get to roll the treasure dice. Okay, that is not good. That means we get a fear token. We have just rolled a fear token on the dice, which is not good at all. So that means basically that one of these tokens will get added to the boss, which makes it harder to defeat them. So we'd just put that over there so we know that it's got that fear token. Okay, we've defeated the scraggly spider, but we didn't get any treasure, which is a bummer. We got 1 fear token on the boss, but the adventure continues. The next is the big secret, so candy wrapper code, and it just gives you a bit of flavor text. Yesterday you deciphered a code you found in a chocolate candy wrapper. Draw an epic treasure and pull the final boss from the adventure deck. Tie these 3 cards together to reveal the secret story behind your adventure, then show all 3 cards to your siblings. Put the boss back in the deck and add a fear count to it. Slide the epic treasure under it. So you just follow those instructions and then continue play. So you do this, you keep going through, adding to the story, defeating enemies, using your special abilities. So you can, if you do an epic fail on the dice, you can discard your token, and it allows you to activate your character's special ability, which is on the back. With Mayhem, take a +1 star token and give another player a -1 star token. Then re-roll using the player's trouble dice. Explain how you used your sibling to help you. Okay, so you can do that anytime you roll your special ability on your trouble dice, or you can do that once per game by discarding that token. As you go through the adventure deck, you're going to be facing enemies, you're going to be having these heroic tales, and then you will all of a sudden get to the boss, which is the big meanie. So, bloated spider. And for each fear counter on bloated spider, place a -1 token on a treasure or epic treasure that doesn't have a token. Explain why it's hard to use your stuff. Describe a spidery dance to reduce the spider star rating by 1. And it's a 7+. We can already reduce it by 1 by saying it's doing a dance, but we obviously have to incorporate that into the game depending on how many players are playing the game, we take one of these tokens. So if it's a 4-player game, we take the 4 token, and then we turn it over, and then that just gives us the additional star rating we have to add to the boss, so +9. So now that spider is +16, so we all get to roll once. So if you roll this epic fail on your sibling dice, you have to describe how you fail epically, and you can't do anything to increase the star value, so that's it for you. So everybody, starting with the player who turned the boss card over, has a go at trying to defeat the bloated spider. We'd all roll our dice and then add the scores together in attempt, discarding any items we've got, any star tokens we've got, just pulling all of our resources together. If we fail in doing that, we all go home and brush our teeth and go to bed early. That's it, the adventure is over. If we successfully manage to defeat the bloated spider, we have this card here, and this is the Journey Home card, and then this is revealed. So, and it just tells you what happens on the back there. So your parents find you, describe what happened when your parents find you before you get back home. Be sure to tie up any loose ends and extra details. Along the way, each player should describe picking up one treasure or epic treasure that has been used over the course of the journey to take home to hide for the next adventure together. And that is a brief overview of the Siblings Trouble Backyard Adventures. Let's take a look at my final thoughts. So, the Siblings Trouble. This really is my first RPG in a box. I just loved how much fun me and my family had with this game. The mechanics are light, but it was never meant to be heavy. It really is about giving you the framework to create your own adventures, and it does exactly that. The components are fantastic, it's high quality. The box actually is magnetic at the front, so it all clasps together quite nicely, and that is pretty much what I expect now from Pencil First Games. Their games are always of a high quality, and that's something that Ed is really good at doing. My family just really enjoyed this game to a point of where I had to rein them in a bit because 2 of my kids just kept talking over each other, and it's like, no guys, come on, you've got to let each other tell the story on their turn. But that's not so much of a problem because they were having fun, and after the adventure had finished, the next day we were even making references to what happened on the adventure, and we were still laughing about it, and the fact that we got defeated by the boss because I stubbed my toe and I went home sulking. And the kids just really enjoyed that, and the thought of the skittering spiders and the fact that they were using the special contraptions to get out of the pits, and all of this is just brought together by the game, and the game really sort of pushes you to incorporate certain things into your story and adventure, and it really does come alive when you play this with kids. So if you don't have children or you don't tend to play family games, then this probably isn't one for you. But if you do like playing games as a family and have children, then this is fantastic. It's a great way to introduce them to storytelling games and sort of the RPG side of things. So for me, this game was perfect, and it was all brought together by some fantastic artwork. It really just set your imagination going. So Siblings Trouble Backyard Adventure, fantastic for the family and for kids.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.